Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's intuitive tapping break. Today we have an affirmation or an anchor that has been very near and dear to what I have been working on for myself over the last few weeks or so. And the anchor or the affirmation that we're going to tap around today is it is safe to hold a belief within me before I see the evidence around me. And so, this is something that I have been practicing very intentionally for the last little while because I found that I was getting very, very attached to needing to see it before I believed it, right? So, I needed to see a result before I knew that it was working, or I needed to see something happen in order for me to know that it was true in some way, shape, or form. And this really kind of crushes for me personally. It really crushes my inspiration. It really crushes my motivation. And I get very discouraged, and I can really feel doubt creep in a lot easier when I am, really attached to that and really have the expectation that something has to be working and I have to see the results before I can actually know that it's happening or know that it is true. And so I think a lot of energetic women, a lot of energetically sensitive people really need to, and they need this reminder that it's okay to believe something before you actually see it, right? Because the more we can hold a belief, the stronger we can build that belief within ourselves, the more we're going to see the evidence around us, right? And that's not to say that we can't do the things, right? We can't take actions in order to make that evidence happen. But it's really, things tend to happen a lot slower in the external or the physical or the outside realm, as opposed to when we can really tune into a feeling, or when we can really tune into the belief that we have that something is working out for us, right? So today we are going to do that intuitive tapping. If this is your first video, if you're just joining me and you have no idea who the hell I am, but this sounds really interesting, thank you for joining. My name is Megan Basita, and I'm an energy management mentor. I help moms, stay-at-home moms, and mompreneurs leverage their energy so that they can make the most of the time. And what that really means is holding their energy, really being in tune with their energy and their highs and their lows and their ups and their downs and all their the emotional aspect, the mental aspect, all the physical sensations that come up for them as they're moving throughout their day-to-day lives, throughout their mom lives, right? So and helping you work with those energies, helping you work with and leverage how you feel to make the most out of your time, right? So my favorite saying is, if you want more time, focus on your energy. We all have the same amount of time available to us, but sometimes it does not matter how much time we have. We've all experienced having X amount of time and not being in the mood to doing something, and it takes forever. Time just drags on. Or the opposite is that we have X amount of time to do something that we absolutely love. We get in the zone and it's like time stands still, or time zooms by really quick, right? So it's about our energy. So if we are in the zone, we have a higher vibration, things tend to move a lot quicker, but we're doing something that we love. We're present with what we feel is important. And it doesn't necessarily matter about the time, right? We'll use this card as our first card today. So this is all unintuitive tapping. I use EFT, cards, astrology, numerology, mix it all in together, and energy management practices to help moms and mompreneurs build the life that they are seeking, like really leveraging their time so that they get the most out of it, or leveraging their energy so they get the most of the time. So today we are going to do what are we tapping out of? What are we tapping out of this first card? You know what? Yeah, we'll use this. We'll see what we do. So we got this upside down card. It's the new life. It's not going to focus, and I have a thing about the focusing. So it was in protection, so it just means that we get an extra little nudge, an extra little hug, protection from the universe, an extra little love nugget, if that makes sense. Anyway, so we are looking first at what we're tapping out of. So with this comes like doubt, discouragement, right? Like we talked about that. So what are we tapping out of? And so this upside down card, the new life here, is really talking about you must acknowledge your inexperience and gently allow yourself to be like the delicate new bud opening. It's okay to admit you may not know something. You are at the beginning of things and haven't hit your stride. Be immersed in the newness of it all and don't try to rush the learning process. New life has its own timetable for maturity. Be here now. Life loves you. So that's actually a beautiful card to start with. That's what we're tapping out of needing to know. We're tapping out of the sense of it needs to work. We need to see it to believe it, right? We're tapping out of that. And we want to give ourselves some space and some time to really allow this to kind of evolve and to shift and expand for us. And we're all going to experience this uniquely. And we're all going to have we're all going to have different challenges that arise with this. And we're all going to have different gifts and strengths that come out of this too, right? So let's go ahead and do a round of tapping. I'm tapping out of needing to see it to believe it. So it's okay to be new. It's okay to release the timetable, the expectation or the attachment to, how we think things are going to unfold. It's okay that we don't know right now. So we're going to start by tapping on the side of the hand. And if you have never tapped before EFT, it is just tapping on the same points that I'm tapping on and repeating after me. So we're going to start by saying, even though I tend to need to know how things are going to unfold, I need to know how long I have. I need to know a time frame. I wonder if I could let this go today. Or at the very least, loosen the reins. And I love and accept how I move through this today. Even though in the past, I've been very attached to the outcome. I've needed to see the results in order to know that it's working. I wonder if I'm open to something different today. And I'd like to love and accept myself as I move through this. Even though I like to know, I like to be certain. I like to have a time frame. I like that structure. I wonder if I'm open to seeing things differently today so that I can make the most of my time. Okay, we're going to move to the top of the head now, gently tapping and say, I like to know. Eyebrow point, I need to know. Side of the eye, things have been the same for so long. Underneath the eye, I'm really attached to the outcome. Underneath the nose, I'm really attached to the expectations I have. Underneath the mouth, it's safer for me to know. Collarbone point, then I can adjust accordingly. Underneath the arms, I can take the actions required. Underneath the chest, and I can see the result. Wrist points. It's not easy for me to believe something. Top of the head, that I can't see. Eyebrow point. I really struggle with this. Side of the eye. How do I know that it's working? Underneath the eye. How do I know that I'm on the right track? Underneath the nose. I need to see it to believe it. Underneath the mouth. I need to see that proof and evidence. Collarbone point. But the truth is, this is restricting in a way. Under the arms. I get hung up on discouragement and doubt. Underneath the arms. I lose my sense of belief. Wrist points. And then I lose sight of what I was intending. Top of the head. I forgive myself for believing. Eyebrow point. That for the only way for this to work. Side of the eye. The only way that I can know something is true. Underneath the eye. Is for me to see it. Underneath the nose. And then I'll believe it. Underneath the mouth. I wonder if I'm ready to see this differently today. Collarbone point. And I wonder what I would need underneath the arms in order to shift this belief today. All right. So just taking a nice gentle breath here and noticing what comes up for you as you are going through that round. Do you still have some resistance? Do you still have some, are you still fighting for that limitation of, yes, I have to see it to believe it. It doesn't mean it's true. If I can't see it, I can't hold it. I can't pick it up. I can't see the money in the bank, whatever it is, then it's not really there. It's not true. And if you do still have resistance around it, go through that again and take a look at maybe what is the resistance about. So pick something that you need to see a result in order for it to register as a belief or register as true for you. In order for you to believe it, you need to see it. Pick something that you are feeling into right now, write that down, and then ask yourself, what is it that I need from this? What do I get from seeing this? Is it safety? Is it acceptance? Is it is it confirmation? Is it validation? Is it connection? What is it that you get from seeing it, feeling it, holding it, whatever it might be that you're working on or working towards? What is it that it gives you when you can see it? And then the next thing to do is, after you understand what it is that you maybe have an emotion, maybe you have a physical sensation, whatever it might be, then can you hold space for a moment and just generate and cultivate that feeling of safety, of acceptance, of belonging, of relief, whatever it might be, of freedom, whatever it might be that you're working on, or whatever it is that thing that you need to see or to believe, and see if you can generate that feeling within your body first. And then we're going to take a next card here about what we're going to tap into. So what is the next stepping stone, or what is the next right step for you to take in order for you to start building this belief that it's okay to hold a belief within you before you can see it around you? And so we're going to pull a card for that. It's time for a nap. So I think with this card, tapping into it, it's like before, when we need to see it, it's like we're very grippy, we're very attached, we have expectations, and we need to kind of lay those things to rest. We need to take a moment out of that. We need to release the attachment. We need to release the expectation. We need to tap into some kind of unconditional this, that, or the other that we are getting from something. So if we need to see that money in the bank, we get unconditional safety or an unconditional sense of security. Can we generate that within ourselves? And we need to put, we need to kind of put to bed the tangible part of it for a moment, right? We need to just bring those feelings within ourselves and know that we are safe, we are secure, we are free, we are connected, we are valuable, we are worthy, we are enough, whatever it might be. We are that without the thing, without that scene, or without having that thing. Right. And so let's tap into this next round as releasing control, releasing the need to manage it, releasing the need to know how, and really taking a look at. Sorry, I can hear things and I don't know. My kids are home today because it's like super, super cold, and they're bouncing around out there and I don't know what they're doing. It's okay. Okay, so we're going to tap into it being safe to release the attachment. Let it be safe to let go. So we're going to tap on the side of the hand and say, even though in the past I have expected an outcome, and that's when I knew it worked, or that's when I knew it was true. I wonder if I can let this go today and release attachment. And I love and accept myself as I move through this. Even though I have usually needed to know how long, or when, I've needed to know all the details in order to make these things happen. I wonder if I can let go of that control for just a moment today. And I love and accept myself deeply and completely right now. Even though I have usually controlled the situation, I've done what I needed to do, and I've made it happen. But this has been exhausting. And I wonder if I can be open to doing this differently today. And I love and accept where I am today. Okay, we're going to go to the top of the head again and say, it feels really scary to let this go. Eyebrow points. It feels scary to believe it before I see it. Side of the eye. If I don't have a hand in things, underneath the eye, then how do I know it's going to work? Underneath the nose. Part of me believes that I need to be involved. Underneath the mouth, and that I have to manage and manipulate and control. Collarbone point in order for things to get done. Underneath the arms. It feels really scary to let that go. Underneath the chest. Part of me doesn't think anything will get done. Wrist points. Part of me feels really naive for believing. Top of the head. Part of me just does not want to surrender. Eyebrow points. But I give myself permission to play with this today. Side of the eye, I give myself permission to pick one thing underneath the eye and play with it. Underneath the nose, to believe that this is going to happen. Underneath the mouth, to believe that it's true. Collarbone point, to see it without me putting in a lot of effort. Underneath the arms, I wonder what would happen. Underneath the chest, am I able to let go? Wrist points, of my control. Top of the head, in order to open up. Eyebrow point, to be more curious. Side of the eye, I give myself permission to have fun with this. Underneath the eye, I give myself permission to just play with it. Underneath the nose, I give myself permission to practice. Underneath the mouth, and to just see what happens. All right, take a nice gentle breath. And check in with yourself and see how you feel about just playing with something, just practicing something, just like setting a random, really silly intention. The one thing that comes to my mind, and it comes to my mind often actually, is the book E Squared by Pam Grout, I think it is. I actually just recently started reading it again because I needed to kind of give myself that kickstart of like, it's okay to believe something and to like set an intention in my mind and say, okay, show me this, show me that. And when I read this book the first time, it was a few years ago. And it was really funny because my son, who was, I don't know, he must have been like 6 or 7 maybe at the time, maybe 7 or 8. Anyway, and he's like big into cars and trucks. And we were driving in, were we driving into town that time? I don't know. We were driving into town. So we live a little ways out of town. We're driving in and he says, we never see any green cars. That's not a thing. And I was like, oh, you want to play a game? You see, let's count how many green cars we can see, right? And so we set an intention. We were like, okay, well, let's just count and see how many times we can see a green car when we're in town today. And so we were driving around town, and by the time we were driving back home, I think we weren't in town for very long, and I think we saw like 6 or 7 green vehicles, right? And so every time we saw one, we pointed it out, and my son was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it's just like really different shades of green, random greens, bright greens. Like there's lots of things that we just never really have noticed before. And so can we generate that within ourselves? Can we say, I want to see more abundance. I want to see more love. I want to see more connection. I want to see more gratuity. I want to see more appreciation. Like whatever it is, I want to see more safety. I want to see more, like things moving in mysterious ways to help me, right? And another story I have about that is hair ties. So I have hair ties all over the place. And so like every once in a while I'll go and like collect them all. My husband hates it because they're just like random hair ties everywhere, right? But there have been instances where I've been in like really odd places and needed a hair tie, and then all of a sudden it's like there's a hair tie, right? So it's like, yes, they're kind of all over the place. One time I was in the tractor. So we have a tractor, and I was like, I need to put my hair up to get this stuff done. And I didn't have one on my wrist, and I was looking around, and there was a hair tie in a cubby hole. And I was just like, of course there is, right? Like it's there, like it's your future self, like placing things for you, or your past self putting things in places for your future self, right? So thinking of it like that and playing a game. So like I think I'm gonna do that next time is go into town and be like, set an intention to see a really funky colored vehicle, right? Or something that I wouldn't necessarily see all the time, just to like practice building that belief. And then, our belief can show us the evidence, right? So it's the power of suggestion. And a lot of people, that can work against you, but it can work for you, right? So if you want to see more of something and it's for the best and highest good for yourself, and you can really anchor into why it is that you want to see that thing, why it is that really like what's the deeper level meaning of that. One of the things that I'm working on right now is, why would my soul want this? Why would my higher self want this? And really going in deeper, not to say that I can't have the surface level version of it, but it's just helping me see it deeper so that I understand exactly why I want it. And that helps me to anchor in the belief and anchor in the why and anchor in the trust, right? And the surrender. And then we can just let go, and it's like a game. It's like just a fun little project or an experiment that we can do so that we can start to build this belief, and it's safe to do so, right? And so this last round here, we're just going to do a tapping and breathing round, and it's going to be around the card that we pull is going to be what we can't see necessarily. So it's like that higher, it's like the thing behind the thing. It's like but on a higher level. So it's the more spiritual thing. It's like we don't know what we don't know. So this is like that higher frequency thing that we can tap into, we can like use as an anchor to pull us into it even more deeply. So we got this card here. It's the never ending story, but it's in protection. And so this is the thing that we can tap into. What do we have here? 37. Yeah. So let's see here. Fear, envy, procrastination, greed, and the perception of victimhood could all be active in your life at this moment. Are you comparing yourself with others, thinking their success should be yours? Financial insecurities. Are you back where you started or in a situation that reminds you of the past? So learning to love yourself through the missteps and the sabotaging moments, and using that criticism constructively to better to make the story better, or better yet, stop telling the story altogether. So make up a new one. The universe loves you deeply and will wait for you to figure that out. Tell a new story of success. Tell a new story, and success is all but guaranteed. You can do it. So I think that's a really cool card to tap into. So maybe we have a story that we've been hanging on to. It's like, no, we need to feel it. We need to have it, or that won't pay the bills, or whatever it might be, right? Or we listen to the news and we're like, there's no way in hell that this world is going better, right? Like, we're telling ourselves a story, and we're seeing that story acting out and playing out in our experience. So if we can stop that story, make it better, or completely redefine it or recreate that story, we're going to start seeing more evidence of that around it. So take a nice gentle breath in here. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze for this round. And we're going to just start by tapping on the top of the head, breathing in gently. Being open to creating a new story today. Eyebrow points. Breathing in gently. What do we want to believe? Side of the eye. What do we want to feel? Underneath the eye. What do we need to support us in making these things happen? What do we need to support us in making this shift today? Underneath the nose, taking a gentle breath in and out. Being open and willing to see the support that you need. Underneath the mouth, being willing to see the guidance. Collarbone point, being willing to see that assistance. underneath the arms. So you can set this intention to decide that you would like to see things differently today. You'd like to believe in things differently today. Underneath the chest, just take a gentle breath in here and tune into what you would like to practice and what you would like to play with. And even if you don't quite know what that is yet, you're open to it. Wrist points. And you can just gently declare to the universe, to God, to your soul, to spirit, whatever it might be, that you are ready to be shown the way. And just take a nice gentle breath here. You can stop tapping and just really coming from a very curious, inquisitive, playful place. You're excited to try this out. You're excited to see what this has in store for you. You're excited to see what the universe offers. Taking a nice gentle breath in and out, and just setting the intention that today or throughout the rest of the week or whatever it might be, that as you are moving through your day, you're going to see things that you want to see, or you're going to be directed, or you're going to have some inspiration about this new belief or this new thing that you're going to practice or play with in seeing it, believing it before you see it. So you're going to set the intention, or you're going to hold the belief that you want to see something, or that you want to experience something, or that you want to feel something before you actually see, feel, or experience it. And you're just going to play. And I'd love to know in the comments what you have experienced, or if you play with this, or if you've done it in the past before. And so if you haven't already, you can open up your eyes and just go throughout your day and kind of release that attachment. You can just like set a declaration. This show me the way. I want to know this for my best and highest good. And then start to notice and be aware. And today in the Energy-Led Mompreneur space, which is my other community newsletter, where we go really deep into this, and we dove into the new moon today, and we talked about something that one of the things that I learned from Kate Northrup, a book that she had on Do Less, it's called, but it's on scheduling, right? And one of the things that we talked about was delegating to the divine. Now, there's 4 different ways to break down what is on your to-do list, and some things that you can delegate, some things that, there's 4 different steps to it. And so we went into a little bit there. And the one thing that you can play with and practice with is delegating something to the divine, right? So if you have something on your to-do list that you don't want to do, and nobody else really wants to do it, like, is there a way that you can give it up and like release attachment or release expectation to that thing, and just like give it up to the divine? They're going to take care of it. God, universe, angels, whatever it might be, source, spirit, and it's going to take care of that thing that you have on your to-do list. And maybe that could be a practice. Maybe that could be an interesting thing to just, how can this be better? How can we make this better? How can we take this off my list? And how can this be done for the best and highest good of all, right? Like, we want to really tap into that best and highest good for myself, or for all. Or for my best and highest good for my soul, whatever it might be, something that's a little bit higher, right? And then again, tuning into what does the thing that you need, that you're attaching to, really taking a look at this too a little bit deeper. What are you attaching to, and what do you expect from that thing? And can you cultivate or generate that within yourself, that feeling or that physical sensation or whatever it may be? Can you cultivate that before you actually see it? Like, really getting clear about what it is that you need from the thing being done, right? And then, releasing the attachment. So like, just kind of going through the cards here, and then seeing to believe, right? And retelling yourself a new story, playing with this, like setting up something super, super basic or super fun, or something that's very, very innocent, and just really seeing how you can start to build that belief. And if you have any questions, if you would like to join us over on the energy-led mompreneur space, please let me know. There's a link for the sign up in the description here. This is an in-depth space. We go really into energy-led living for moms and for entrepreneurs who are moms as well. And we really deep dive into taking, really redefining how we work with what we have and how we work with time and how we work with our energy and the actions that we take in accordance. So anyway, that space is available. If you'd like to go in there, you can check it out. It's free. And otherwise, we will see you back here next week for another intuitive tapping break. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I hope to talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.